Oh, here we go. Here we go. All right, we're live. Children of Victoria University. We're live on the Grand Coalition with a special guest that isn't Bennett or Luke. I'm going to let him introduce himself how he wishes as I crack open a lukewarm Lion Brown.
I think we'll let the crack of the can do the talking for us. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, that picked up well.
That's gone all over the microphone.
Oh, fuck.
No, it hasn't really.
I have not had
It's
Lion
mainly
Brown.
on the table.
A Lion Brown in a while. That is awful.
It's alright, it'll put hairs on your chest, mate.
Introduce yourself how you wish.
My name's Liam Walsh. I'm many things to many people. Mainly, I like to consider myself as the spiritual advisor to... No, I don't at all. No, I'm here today hoping to spread some propaganda for Not a Party and the non-voting movement. But also mainly just to talk some shit and drink some beers, eh?
Sorry, I've got a message. People are excited about the prospect of you on the radio. We'll start before we go to propaganda. Maya asks, please ask him about the story where Barry broke into his house and stole a can of his tuna. It's just Stephen Barry.
Stephen Barry, yeah. Stephen Barry, if you're listening, you bastard. Give me back my fucking tuna. I needed the protein from that. I was working out hard that day, and I want it back. I want it back,
What?
Stephen. No, none of this happened.
None of this happened.
Something that I said. I can't remember what he said to encourage me to say that. But no, I've never met Stephen Barry. I imagine that he doesn't know where I live. I'm not even sure if he likes tuna. I just said that one time, and it's been brought up. It was the most throwaway comment ever, like most of the shit I say, but fuck, it's been brought up a lot of times since then. People, I don't know, at what point people will just start accepting that everything I say is a lie.
I think it's actually better than that happening, because if that actually happened, you would have been down a can of tuna. But the fact that people think it happened and they'll accept it, and it's just a funny story. I mean,
people show up to Stephen Barry's campaign meetings and shit, and they're like, "Why, Stephen? Give back the can of tuna." I can't believe this. I thought you were a moral man, an upstanding member of the community, and you're out here stealing tuna from hard-working landscapers.
were you standing in Northcote at the same time as him, right?
Oh, yeah, he was in Northcote, eh?
Yeah.
Maybe, was that when I said it?
That must have been, right?
I don't know. You see him around quite a bit on, like, the sort of Facebook political sphere. I'm sure there's many opportunities where I would have been antagonising Steve.
Did you not stand in Northcote?
I did stand in Northcote.
Were you actually there for the...
Was it? No, I haven't been to Northcote for years. I lived in Birkenhead. So back in, when was that? When I was like 20, so 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, has it got me up there?
Yeah, so act Stephen Barry and then Not a Party Liam Walsh.
Liam
Not
Walsh.
a prospect.
Not a prospect. I wish we had changed it. I can't remember what that was.
Fuck, this is a good by-election. You stood with Kim Coloni as well.
Oh yeah, that was the best. They removed. They asked us all a bunch of questions. The Herald or Stuff or someone asked us all a bunch of questions, and they said what was like your highlight of the election, and I said the funniest part of it was when Kim Coloni was impersonating Hitler the whole time, and so they removed that question from everyone's set of questions, so they didn't have to publish the answer.
Oh, this is a great article. I've just looked up the Northcote by-election. Dope advocate, anarchist, and anti-vaxxer among Northcote by-election candidates.
Yeah, it's unfortunate they put, because when I first read that headline, I just thought, well, that describes me, and then I got to anti-vaxxer, and I thought, I'm not really anti-vaxxer. I mean, I could be, though, for the right price. If the Victoria University Anti-Vaxxer Society is listening now, and you need a poster boy, I'm not super expensive. I'm not cheap either, though. Holy fuck, they've written up all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, you got a whole write-up up here.
Jesus.
So Walsh's outgoing MP Jonathan Coleman is doing voters a favour by standing down. They go one step further and not vote.
Yeah, that's not exactly what I said, but that's kind of the message.
Walsh would help everyone by doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
What I'm promising you, Northcote, is that nothing needs to change.
I mean, really, does anything need to change?
Well, no, nothing needs to change. Everything could just say exactly, the same.
I think the thing is, like, I make that promise easily. I promise not to do anything, but like, even if you do vote, you can almost guarantee that no one's going to do anything.
Well, God, Dan Bardos is not going to do anything.
Dan Boudoir.
Oh, is it Boudoir?
Yeah, don't be it, you shitlord.
Boudoir.
Pronounce his name properly. Oh, that could be wrong. He shouted me out. He was like tweeting with John Key or something. He said something and then he thought, oh man, I'm doing even worse than Liam Walsh. But
yikes.
I'm not sure like what the reach of is this just live streamed this?
Yeah.
There's no actual like FM signal going out of here.
Oh, there is an FM signal.
There's so if anyone who is registered to vote in the Northcote electorate is listening to this right now and you voted for me, fuck you. Why did you do it? I got 5 votes, great outcome, but it's a small enough number that I really wish I could find the 5 people who voted for me and ask them why.
Do you have any not a party people in Northcote?
We had there was Rose Clark was living there at the time because she was one of the people that signed nomination for me.
Yeah.
So we had one, but she wouldn't have voted. I don't even think she's registered to vote. No, she must be because she signed the nomination.
You must be registered to vote if you can stand as a candidate.
Yeah, I'm registered to vote. No, the not voting message very clear. You must register to vote, otherwise your non-vote won't count.
Oh, yeah, no, that is true. That is true. Yeah.
You know, that's the sort of.
Well, Richard Good, who stood in Mount Roskill in 2016,
He did.
did much much worse than you. He got 43 votes.
Fucking loser.
That's by not a party standards. That's
Richard Good will be listening to this. Maybe not now. He's probably asleep right now. We got on the piss last night. But when he does listen to this, like in the future, when we submit the recording, shame Richard. That's way too many votes.
I think we should take the time then for you to explain in detail what not a party is.
Well, it's not a party, I'll tell you that much. So
Wikipedia says not a party is a political party in New Zealand.
Yeah, well, it's fucking not. Who's been trolling the not a party Wikipedia page? I'm sick of this. We've been targeted too many times. So not a party is loosely like a group of anarchists. There's the page on Facebook's got like 700 likes or something, which I'm aiming to hit the 1,000 this year sometime.
There we go. We've just edited the Wikipedia article.
Oh man, you can do that quickly?
Yep.
Holy shit.
Not a party is not a political party.
See how long that lasts. So to be fair,
I don't know how many people are. Oh, actually, we can.
Can you see who created it?
No, but we can see who's last person. Rich Farnborough. Do you know who that is?
No idea.
Yeah, so you got a bunch of edits here, apparently. Richard Good's been doing some. Oh, he created it.
Yeah. Good, Richard. There we go.
But
the thing about Not a Party is that because it's sort of an anarchist, a loose anarchist organisation, no one has to do anything, so often nothing gets done. But it's always really nice when things do get done. So it's hard to sort of say what Not a Party. The main thing is it's a group of people who think that non-voters shouldn't just be ignored. You know, that participation in the parliamentary or electoral system is like an implied consent to be governed by. So even if your team loses, you still voted. You're still accepting the outcome. You were out there trying to marginalise some people that you disagreed with. So if you vote, you have to accept whatever the government is. And I don't like accepting the government.
So are you guys all just like black flag anarchists? Because you know how there's anarchists who have like structure with their anarchism. They're like, oh, we're anarchists, but we're anarcho-communists, or you know.
Oh, there's definitely not like a shared ideology between.
Yeah.
The I don't know how many actual members of Not a Party there are, because we don't have a great system of keeping track of financial members. There's a page that's got like sort of like 40 to 60 people that contributed to it in theory, thinking of ideas and just talking shit. A lot of it's just talking shit.
I mean, that's what you want from a party, isn't it?
It's a fun time, you know. Well, the good thing about being a party whose idea is that you shouldn't vote is that you don't really have to have any policies. You don't have to make any promises. You don't have to trot out a list of lies before every election. Oh, we're going to do all of these things definitely, and we're going to be very honest, open and transparent government.
Oh God, I'm blown away by your membership there's gold membership for $1, green membership for 20, or orange for 300.
That's $300. Oh, the reason that is because it costs $300 to stand a candidate.
Oh,
So that's like if you joined that up with that, you'd be in theory sponsoring a candidate.
so did you have to pay that $300 when you stood as a
I
candidate?
paid a lot of it.
Yeah.
Richard and Simon, shout out Simon Smythe, helped me out with some of it, but yeah, it's pretty much got to fund things yourself,
That's-
not a party.
That's fucking ridiculous that you have to pay to stand.
Well, it's a deposit, right? So you get it back if you get more than 5% of the vote.
So you didn't get.
So no, I didn't get it back, but neither did anyone
Steve.
else in that election except the Labour and National candidates.
That's fucking nonsense, though.
Steve Berry would have been down $300. That's probably why he hasn't replaced my can of fucking tuna. It's all right, Steve. I forgive you.
Oh, that was such a bullshit by-election as well. It was nonsense. So you didn't go up there at all?
No. Never set foot there even once.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You weren't at the candidate debate, yeah.
No. They invited me to. I got invited to a couple of candidate things, but it was always like sort of, you can attend, but there's no fucking way we're letting you up on the stage.
What? But they let
They must
the
have
Democrats for social
reviewed my
credit.
subject matter.
They let the Tricia Cheel, whatever her name is, up there. She was mental.
Did they let Colonia up there? Because she had a big cry
Nah.
about being excluded from.
Nah.
Yeah, well,
She wasn't.
I suppose you really have to limit how many Nazi rallies you can have.
Yeah.
Per year
What's she
and
doing now? I haven't seen her in a while.
Oh, it's licking your wounds, I would imagine.
Oh, yeah, Stephen got .79. Come on.
0.79.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's like, what? How much? What does ACT usually get? About.
That's more than the party vote.
Oh.
And the Greens didn't even get 5%. Holy fuck.
Nah.
Wipeout, bro.
And that's after the Greens were mad about me standing.
Why?
Well, because I was a member of the Green Party.
But you're not anymore. Why? Like how?
No, I was at the time.
Oh.
And I always say like, I got expelled from the Green Party for standing in Northcote. I didn't. They called me up and they were like, we can expel you for doing this. Like you broke whatever set of rules they've got.
in the Constitution. Yeah.
The Constitution. That's the word I was looking for. They said, she rung up and said, you've broken this. So we could expel you for it, and then that means we have to do like a whole natural justice process, and you have to have a chance to meet with us and speak to us and try to have a mediated outcome to it. And it was all this like classic Green stuff,
Well, yeah, because the way they work internally is really interesting. Like they don't
it's a mess.
vote. Like they have to reach consensus.
Yeah. Well, they do. They ultimately do vote if they can't reach consensus after
But
a
like
ridiculous
the fact
amount
they
of
have to
attempting.
reach consensus. I've heard about this from some young Greens, and like you can block consensus, and then that's when it goes to a vote. It's fucking stupid.
I wouldn't have a consensus to this. So the outcome of that conversation was like, it was pretty much, can you just resign from the party so that we don't have to kick you out, because it's a pain in the ass to try and kick someone out of the Greens. And I said, yeah, sure. Which in hindsight, it would have been way funnier if I made them go through the whole process. But I don't have any ill will towards the Greens. It was a good learning experience. I met some cool people when I was in the Greens.
But being in a party is just it kills you.
Oh, it
kills
opens
you
your
inside.
fucking eyes. There's no wonder nothing gets done. If they've got to, like, all that shit before they even get to go through all the parliamentary shit, how do you get an idea from, like, someone coming up with it to it becoming a law? Like,
I
what
mean,
a
that's at
ridiculous
least the good
process.
thing about being in a party as small and ultimately useless as mine, is that there's only like 2 steps to get a policy into the party manifesto.
Yeah.
Like I know with friends in Labour.
Step 1, ask David Seymour. Step 2, buy David Seymour a beer. Yes,
I know
we'll
in
put that
Labour they have to pass it within their local branch. So let's say Vic Labour.
Yep.
Right. They pass a policy. They say we want to legalise crack. So Vic Labour says we want to legalise crack. They vote for it. Then they have to take it to the electorate. So they go, Wellington Central, we want to pass, we want to vote for crack. Grant Robertson says, yep, love crack.
Yep,
Everyone says
beautiful.
love crack. Goes to regional, so the Wellington region goes, yep, love crack. And then it goes to national.
Holy fuck.
So
Imagine
you got to
that.
go through all those fucking layers. And then
And
even
it's
if
bastardised at every step.
even if it reaches national, I mean, Cabinet could just say, nah,
Yeah, no thanks.
fucking politics.
Don't know if the what's the word they use? The visuals. I don't know if the visuals on crack are very good. The optics of crack might not be to our benefit.
I think the optics of crack are wonderful.
We have to watch our the kind of language we use around this, because like legalizing drugs is actually a fucking ridiculous. Just the idea of legal, like you don't have to legalize drugs, you just have to stop illegalizing drugs. Like,
Yeah.
all you have to do is remove all this legalized cannabis, and it's going to take all this. Why don't you just remove the parts of the law that say we're going to ruin your life for smoking cannabis and leave it at that, man? Fuck off.
No, it's
gotta put the ticket on that.
there are certain people across political Facebook who say dumb things to me about legalizing drugs. And
I
they're
wish
like,
David Hanna was here.
oh, I know he'd be.
Smoke pot, get shot.
They call me the smoke pot get shot man.
It's an admirable impression of David, actually.
No, I work with David at our polling company, and that's what's made me more disillusioned with politics, is calling people up and asking them what their opinions on things are. The amount of people who think, like, I've had people. Okay, so Wellington Central. Who would you vote for? Blah blah blah. Who's your local MP? I've had Judith Collins. I've had John Key. I've had Jacinda Ardern. I've had Chris Bishop, which is admirable. He's only one electorate away.
Oh, you're not far off there, mate.
Yeah.
Try
But it's like, fuck, you can't even name your local MP. Like,
oh, can I name Greg O'Connor? Or how do you?
yeah, I'm Grant Robertson.
Grant Robertson.
Used to be Stuart Nash, but I changed my.
G. Robs is definitely better than O'Connor.
This is blasphemy, but I did change my enrolment form so I could vote for Tamitha Paul, Lambden Ward.
Don't admit to it on the air. Yeah,
She
people
bought me-
will be calling for your arrest in a second now. Electoral fraud.
She bought me fish and chips the other day, so yeah.
All right, well, now we know your price. One fish and chips for
Yes,
a vote.
it was a potato fritter, and I was like, I got it.
There's
No,
a
but
potato
is that
fritter
is that
involved.
electoral fraud if I live here?
If it's electoral fraud to enrol in an address that you don't live at.
I do live in Wellington, though.
Where were you enrolled before?
I was still enrolled at my dad's house.
Oh, no, that's probably...
Yeah.
No, you probably accidentally committing electoral fraud before you re-enrolled. I guess it would only matter if you voted, though, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
Like, you'd have to cast a vote for it to be electoral fraud.
But who votes? Am I right?
Who does that
Who
shit?
votes? All right, we've decided. I was having some wines last night
Nice.
with some friends, and we decided we were only going to play shit 2000s music.
Oh, yeah. I'm into
So I have written down in my notes some song requests from young Sabina.
that. The shitter, the better.
She wants. Okay, so you have a choice. Sean Kingston, "Love Like This,"
Oh, that's very shit.
or "Unwritten," and I forgot the artist.
No idea. Probably haven't heard of that song.
I know it's you would have heard. I'm gonna look this up.
I have heard of Sean Kingston.
Sean Kingston was the king of the 2000s.
He's got King in his name. How much? You can't go wrong.
Oh yeah, no, I got it. All right,
Unwritten.
"Unwritten." Yeah. Also, when you listen to this later, David, fuck you. You should have come into the studio.
Oh, God, he would have been good.
Here we go.
He's
Here
a
we
great
go.
man.
This is fantastic. This is musical excellence right here. Also, this is dedicated to Jazz and Naz, who are the people who run this station, because I have not been following my contract for the last 8 months that says I have to play music from the Salient playlist. So we're going to listen to Natasha Benfield, "Unwritten," US version.
Shout out Jazz and Naz.
I hope you enjoy this. All right, we're returning with this very quiet edition of the Grand Coalition as Liam reads the sign-in sheet for the Salient FM.
There's some outrageously racist things written in here. No, there's not. There's not really.
I bet there is, to be honest.
I mean, if I went through, I'm sure I could find something that I could claim was racist if I tried hard enough. What is DSB?
DSB.
It's written on a cigarette. The S is a dollar sign. Some sort of
Drum and bass?
drum
I-
dollar bass.
I don't know. We've had some particularly naughty times in here.
Right.
At Salient FM, we had a party here about a couple months ago now. It was the Salient FM welcome party for 2019.
Just want everyone to know that this place was fucking covered in beer cans when we walked in. I'm holding a condom wrapper currently. I shouldn't really be holding that.
But we had basically every radio host in this room like a couple months ago.
Naked.
At like
All
1
naked.
in the morning, drunk as a skunk. We all had the mics, and we were all. I was talking about how my dad was on the fucking bracelet at some point and everything, and then I grabbed the microphone and I just said, Salient FM's fucking trash. And then Kai, who's the editor of Salient, grabbed the other microphone and went, yo, I'll fucking shut your show down, can't fucking kill you. And I'm just glad that no one listens to Salient at 1 in the morning, because...
Yeah, you gotta assume that... Well, like, because is there nothing on between, like, the last show at 10 and the next
No, they just, they put the Salient FM
just
playlist on shuffle, yeah. It's always supposed to be going. Otherwise, it'd be a waste of money, unlike right now.
Oh, no. This is money well spent.
Yeah, I'm glad no one's ever asked me to comment in my capacity as ACT on campus about the radio, because I don't know.
What, are you like the president of ACT on campus, or only member, or what's the deal?
Oh, we've got plenty of... actually, this shows you how bad the Young Nats are, as they have a similar amount of members to us.
Oh, I'm not. So there's nothing you can say bad about National that will surprise me. Like, I can't just...
But
we
no,
could rubbish National for a while. I'm into that.
Oh,
Fuck them.
I'm always into fucking shitting on National.
As he cracks his second Lion Brown of the day.
At 12:30.
A high society gentleman. I will now speak on the National Party. Fuck them.
When do you think the National Party was ever good?
I mean, I wouldn't... I don't think that I've got, like, enough historical knowledge to definitely say no, but no. Fuck no. Like, if they were good, they really went wrong somewhere along the way.
As a proud non-voter now, who have you voted for in the past?
Mana twice. Well, Mana, then Internet Mana, and
Nice.
then the Greens at the last election.
And then what snapped?
I just think that all I'd ever done was I wanted to vote against National. You know, I always thought, like, if my team wins, things are going to get better. Something's going to change, and I'm going to feel better about shit. Not that things were ever that fucking awful, but and then my team won, and shit wasn't really, like, I didn't feel good about it. I was like, fuck, now I feel responsible for it. Like, before I was always like, fucking National winning and housing crisis and low paid jobs, and I was mad. You know, I worked in the unions, and I sort of I started working in the unions just as Labour as the Clark government ended. So, like, all that intense shit that they did right at the start, like the 90-day law and fucking, like, reduction of union access rights and shit, that all, like, really felt personal to me. Like, it really fucked a lot of people that I knew up. And yeah, no, I guess I just, like, everything about it, I hated the key government. I always hated the key government, and I just thought, if we can just get rid of them, everything will be better. And then nothing's better. Nothing,
I mean,
you know?
yeah, that's, like, especially when you spend a lot of time in echo chambers. No, I do that. Spend a lot of time in echo chambers, you start to really feel like, man, yeah, if my team just wins, it's, you know, even in a party situation especially, it's like, if we get this much % of a vote, everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And then it's like, well, no, because MMP makes it so...
Yeah.
It's always going to be the most centrist version of whatever you want.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're a New Zealand First voter, shout out Robbie Coots. You know.
Well, if you're a New Zealand First voter, you're really wasting your vote there, but...
what are they ever going to do? Like, what's their job in the context of being a coalition party for one of the bigger parties? Basically, what New Zealand First does is take things that people want to do and say, let's not do that.
It's huge Chad energy, though. Like, it's big dick energy from Winston.
Oh, Winston and Shane Jones are fucking beasts, man. I'd love to
especially
be
with this abortion thing where Winston didn't tell anyone that he was only going to support it if there was a referendum.
Oh, when did that come out?
Oh, that was the other day. It was like, Andrew Little didn't even know. Tracy Martin, Winston didn't even tell Tracy. She was the one negotiating for abortion reform with Labour.
Wow.
And then Winston just came out and he said, yeah, we're only supporting it for a referendum. And
How did I miss that?
Little
Fucking
was
hell.
taken aback.
So what? So all their big talk, we're going to immediately change these abortion laws, that say that's down the toilet now.
Well, the way it's been sold is that it's taken a couple of years of negotiation with New Zealand First
Oh, right.
to, like, come to good abortion reform. And then, yeah, Winston at the last minute was like, oh, yeah, I'm only supporting it if it goes to referendum.
Another ridiculous. So what's the ACT position on abortion? Go for it, eh? Basically.
Nuke 'em, yeah.
Yeah, good.
Um,
Yeah.
Well, people are getting angry because the abortion law at the moment says that, no questions asked up to 20 weeks.
Yep.
But David went out in Parliament and he said, look, 20 weeks is pretty fucking arbitrary. Like, we shouldn't really be having a limit on this. So all these people who call themselves libertarians are like, supporting killing babies.
Yeah, it's that killing babies narrative really fucks up the abortion debate.
Had some fantastic responses.
It's the abortion thing. It's ridiculous that it's even a topic of because what are the outcomes? All the same people that hate the idea of easy access to abortion are the exact same people that scream and cry about the welfare state. And who are they expecting to raise these kids that everyone's forced to keep?
No, and they always say, we'll provide a good platform for these children after they're born. And it's like, well, don't you want to gut all
Haven't
of those
you considered
programs?
providing a good platform for the children that are already born?
Yeah.
Instead of just forcing everyone who ever gets pregnant. And God, it's easy to get pregnant. I've been pregnant many times.
Ow.
No, I haven't. I'm completely infertile, ladies.
Coming from the mighty provinces of this great land, had a few scares at the ripe age of 16.
Fucking sheep are real fertile at the right time of year.
A few trips to the doctors to get the morning after pill sort of thing.
Oh yeah. See, I feel like the morning after pill wasn't even really available when I was like a teenager and shit.
It's kind of it's rough when you're 16 because you can either go to the doctor and ask for it very nicely, or you can just pay for it. It's like $50 if you just pay for it.
It's rough when you're 16.
And
paid $4.50 an hour to fucking herd the cows.
It's rough when you're fucking 20 as well.
That seems like the kind of thing that if we're going to have a government, if a state's going to exist, surely the morning after pill should be fucking free.
Well, no, because that's how I feel about IDs as well.
IDs?
Well, no, so the state requires you to have a form of ID.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And if the state's going to, so if the state says you have to have a form of ID to leave the country,
yeah,
also pay us $200 for it as well.
Yeah.
If the state's going to require you to have something, come on.
That's a line of thought that you can go down and you'll eventually just ideally come to the conclusion that everything is an attack on the poor.
Oh yeah.
As long as shit costs money, basically there's going to always be some people that are going to be fucked by it,
Well, that's how
registrations.
That's how I sell everything to leftists. It's like me, the ACT guy is like, listen, do you have solidarity with the workers? If you do, you won't support the cigarette tax.
Oh God, the cigarette tax, fucking. You'll know what would a packet of cigarettes be worth?
Oh yeah, I don't know the answer to this question. So a $26 packet of cigarettes, about $19 of that is tax.
Jesus Christ.
So, yeah.
I mean, honestly though, it does work because if it was $7 for a packet of durries, fuck, I'd smoke 50 a day. That's all I'd do.
When I was doing orchard work, and I was making about $700 after tax every week, as an 18-year-old. It was fucking amazing. I was smoking 2 packs of Choice Reds a day. Because it was like candy at that point. It was $40 a day. Oh, right. I live with my dad. Who cares?
Whatever.
And, yeah. The price has just gone up so quickly now.
Well, it's because it's like
10%.
10%.
Yeah.
But then that compounds, right? Because it's been 10%. It's happened so many times.
But I was saying to my friend the other day, we were reminiscing about when cigarettes were cheap. It was like, you and your mate, you get $20 from your dad or something for the weekend. Your mate gets $20 as well. You put that together, that's a pack of durries and like a 15 pack of Tuies or something.
Yeah, boy.
Between you. And now it's like the cheapest pack of durries is like $26.
Even the mighty Lion Brown has gone above $1 a can. It's a fucking travesty.
Jesus.
Why do we have a government if they can't sort this shit out?
Well, it's worse in Australia. Australia's got
their piss is insane, eh?
It's like 46% of the price of piss is tax in Australia.
Isn't it they've caused a situation where in Australia, the only way to buy beers now is to buy an enormous amount because that.
Yeah.
What's it called?
No. So yeah, my mum lives there, and they have drive-through pisses everywhere.
Go down the servo for a slab.
Yeah, but they've got these huge drive-in liquor lands where you just park up, and everyone's got big fucking massive utes. Like my mum's got this big fucking orange Toyota thing.
Oosh.
Drive through, roll down the window. Yeah, get two 24 boxes of like Tooheys extra dries, I think they are.
Yeah, g'day, cunt, fucking thirsty over here.
And they just load them up, and then they just bring the ATM to your thing. But yeah, it's fucking expensive.
Holy shit.
Their durries are kind of cheaper than ours, so a little bit.
That must be like a hive for cops too, like a big drive-through liquor store. There'd just be a cop. Gee, in Aussie now, they put it I think it was like the Victorian police. So a thing like that they're going to start prosecuting people for touching their phone to like people that use their phones to pay in the drive-thrus.
Yeah.
If you touch your phone while your engine's running, you're breaking the law. So they're going to have a cop standing outside the McDonald's drive-through window, just looking in.
No, they're going to have
cut your fucking phone, boy.
They're going to have a cop working in the McDonald's. So you're going to just not even looking, just be like, just get your hungover, Macca's, and you go, thanks, mate. Also, come with me. You get in the back of this cop car. You come to the station.
You'll hand your phone in to pay for the thing, and you just feel the cuffs, boom, around your wrist.
But someone made a really interesting point where it's like, so what you're saying, because it's illegal to text while driving. If I just stop in the middle of the road and turn my engine off, can I use my phone?
Well, you surely wouldn't be breaking the texting while driving law.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Like getting impeding traffic or something.
No, fuck it. Well, no, they said like at traffic lights, especially. Like if I just turn my engine off, I can use my phone.
Yeah. Well, why not?
It's almost like most laws are bullshit, honestly, isn't it?
Oh, you'd think. Is that the feeling that you're starting to get? That all of this is just something for a bunch of people to do to get paid a lot of money to really achieve much?
As someone who's studying a degree with the express interest of getting a job in part, not
till you're a fucking politician.
Not as an MP, but just
piss off! You're the fucking future of ACT.
No, not as an MP, but just working in Parliament, right? Yes, exactly. That's the point. It's like you get a lot of money to do fuck all. I
don't mind that hustle though. I can't be mad at people that cash in on that.
Yeah, no, because I was talking to someone about an opportunity that's just arisen to maybe work on a congressional campaign in the US. Can't say too much, but
don't go, you'll get shot.
And he was like, so it was a particular party, which I'm not going to name, but it's the bad one.
All right, you're going to go work for the Trump administration.
It's the bad one.
You heard it here first.
And he was like, do you really want to work for the party that's stripping healthcare from Americans? I was like, dude, I just want something on my CV.
I'll work for fucking anyone, mate.
Yeah, I'll work for fucking Simon Bridges if he pays me enough. Come on.
Oh, let's talk numbers here. What would your price be to be Simon Bridges? Like personal assistant.
Oh, personal assistant.
Well, I don't know. Like, what's your actual preferred role?
I think being Simon's senior advisor would be good because you just yell at him constantly and be like, "Fuck off."
Can you stop being literally the fucking worst politician I've ever seen, Simon? I don't know. He's probably not the worst. There's been some pretty ridiculous
bad
ones, but he is a complete.
Like he's up there.
What's wrong with him?
I don't know.
What happened to that man? I mean, I don't know. There's a weird mentality.
He's had too many kids.
That's what it is. How
many
kids has he got?
4.
Oh, put a fucking condom on, Simon. Jesus Christ, mate.
I think he's like the Mitt Romney of this country.
He's fuck. I mean, well, I suppose when he loses the next election, embarrassingly, he'll just become a backbench MP and grow a beard.
Oh,
won't he? Like he's not going to leave Parliament, is he?
He's got 3.
He's got 3 kids. Oh, that's okay. So you can have one more, Simon, before you have to put a condom on. I'll give you permission.
Well, he's going to tell everyone else to put a condom on.
Oh yeah. Oh, you! What a stupid fucking argument that is. Why don't you just use protection when you have sex?
Have you seen his awful ad for National that he did last year?
Last year,
where he's talking about it's like the classic politician ad where they're like, "Look, I'm a human. I have a family."
Oh, he puts his foot up on a fence post or something.
Yeah, and he's like, he's playing the drums. I'll try and find it, but he's like, meet my wife at law school. Fell in love with a lefty, and it's like that's supposed to be like the moment.
Yeah,
and it's just so fucking.
Wait, so his wife's meant to be a lefty?
Well, used to be.
Oh my god! Because if Simon,
but
Simon Bridges'
what
wife,
us Catholic,
if you're listening
us
right
Catholic
now,
men, you know what we do? We whip our women into shape.
or I had to correct some behavioural issues.
I only took 2 kids to do it.
You've got a good Simon Bridges. I can't do him. There's something about it. I just can't get my head around how to do that accent. If I ever really need to do a Simon Bridges, though, I'll just, I guess, I don't know, hit myself in the head a bunch of times.
I think that's what happened to him, honestly.
Do you reckon? Yeah. I feel bad if he actually has some sort of brain injury. Then I'm sorry, Simon.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
fuck you, Simon. I don't give a shit.
I mean, you know, it comes and goes, doesn't it? I don't know. I can't feel that bad for Simon Bridges. He's just pure, just something.
No, he is garbage. Like, the feeling I do get about Simon though is that he's almost too dumb to do any harm.
No. Sorry, that was a mistake. It was the wrong one. This one's even worse. It's just him talking about like.
You've memorised all the Simon Bridges propaganda.
Look. Sometimes my kids don't eat their food immediately, and it's annoying. Or got to feed, or they got to eat their peas.
Have you seen that the New Zealand comedian guy, and he does the Simon Bridges face swap sort of Snapchat thing? He's famous for the Paula Bennett ones. Eh?
Yes, I actually had a like when I brought Jamie Lee Ross on the show.
Yeah.
He messaged me like an hour before. And he said, "Oh, can I make a song request?" And it was like a video of that comedian doing an impression of Simon Bridges doing the Old MacDonald Had a Farm.
What's that guy's name? Because he's the man, whoever he is.
Tom something.
Those the Simon Bridges writing acrostic poems. That shit fucked me up so bad, man. The first one I saw of those, like I was like I couldn't move. I was just paralyzed laughing.
That's the thing is like we're so starved for any sort of political comedy.
Yeah, that's why the Walsh and Holland show needs to happen. If I could just get Adam Holland would the fucking meth for long enough, would be a way. No, he's not. Adam Holland isn't.
I watched his Guy Williams segment the other day.
Yeah, that was like, he wasn't even that willing to do that. That ended up happening.
That was amazing, and you know that Guy Williams edited out the worst parts of Adam Holland as well.
Yeah, well, I was gonna try to get him to like do a voice call with me for the show today, but there's no way you can stop him from slurring. He'd just be like T-bomb, F-bomb, T-bomb, F-bomb all day.
You know, maybe if we
you'd have to record something with him and then fix it up later.
Gave enough notice beforehand, saying, "Listen, just don't listen to the show if you're the broadcasting
just literally
standards authority."
The next 10 minutes are going to be the most offensive shit you've ever fucking heard.
God, I just realised how much garbage they post.
The National Party.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
I'm just trying to find this fucking whatever. Who cares?
It's alright. I'm not that mad that I don't have to watch it.
No, it pisses me off. It gets me so fucking riled.
You've done a great job of describing it.
Oh, like what gets you the most angry, you know? Like what is the smallest thing that gets you the most?
Oh, the smallest thing?
Yeah.
A lot of things. I'm a very angry man. got some issues, eh? The smallest things I get pretty mad on the roads, like just people being slow as fuck. You know, you're like following someone and they're like, they got their indicator on to turn and they just sit there for like 5 seconds. Like, what are you doing? I've got places to be, you know? Time is money. I'm such a busy landscaper. Have to work 3 days a week this week. It was shit.
Oh fucking hell! No, yeah, I've done some drives with my Sparky mate back in Napier, and yeah, he's like that. He's like, fuck off! Got to fucking wire up a house, boys.
Yeah, well, once you start contracting, it starts like when you're a wagey. You don't give a fuck, right? You hope, oh man, please, I hope there's a car crash in the Mount Vic tunnel and it gets closed for 2 hours and I get stuck here. Because you get to sit on your ass and do nothing in the van, chuff some darts and have a good time. But like once you start getting paid by the job, that travel time is like all you're doing is burning petrol. You're just mad about it. And you feel bad also about the environment, obviously.
Oh yeah, wait, what is the not a party position on the environment? I thought you'd just be like...
We definitely agree that there is one.
Okay.
But no, there's not a position as such on any of that stuff. We obviously like all those like the plastic bag banning shit is the fucking most ridiculous thing anyone can ever do. Because like, what I want to know is if murder's so bad, why don't they just make it illegal and then people would all stop doing it?
It's some Joe Rogan shit right there. After a few hits on the blunt, just
why don't they just make
so murder? Bernie? Why knew when you were going to make murder illegal?
Holy shit, this is like, we're the Joe Rogan podcast. You're Joe Rogan.
Yeah, I need to set up
I'm Bernie Sanders.
I've been wanting to get Salient to buy a webcam so we can have like the webcam in the live stream.
How much battery have I got? I'm having some charger issues at the moment. It's a fucking nightmare. We could have just live streamed this whole thing, Just popped up. What? Honestly, webcams are $10. Salient, sort your shit out.
I don't think they put any money into this since.
I'll donate a webcam.
I don't know if you can see in that room there, but that's the server that hosts Salient broke down.
I thought that was like a box of beers.
Yeah, it broke down a few weeks ago, and they fixed it. I don't know how they fixed it, but now it's covered in a Spates box. So that's what we're dealing with here at Salient FM. Really glad to be part of it.
I'll donate a webcam to. How wait? Are you going to have the show next year?
Most likely,
guaranteed.
Yes, probably.
As soon as they guarantee that I will get 2 hours of Jackson Graham, the greatest ACT Party member in the entire country.
The only ACT Party member.
The only ACT Party member in Wellington. Imagine the ACT Party AGM is just you and Seymour and Berry sitting around somewhere.
Why does Berry have to be there?
What? Fuck off, Berry. Give me back my tuna, Berry.
No. We love Berry, but...
He's a good sport, honestly.
He's always...
I've said some outrageous shit to Berry, and he just bounces
always good
back.
to argue with. No, he never calls out bullshit. He's always just like, I'll just argue with this strawman.
When I first started interacting with him, I was like, this guy's a fucking idiot. But like, the more I understood, I was like, he knows exactly what I'm doing, and he just is keen to go along with it.
Well, if you're in politics,
he's got a better sense of humour than David Breen, but... I guess, like, I'm sure that David has to, like, collar himself a bit because he's a politician and shit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Although, he's not going to be around much longer.
Oh, please.
God rest David Seymour.
Oh, the moment that
he's pissed off the Chinese government, mate.
Xi Jinping has called the National Party and gone.
Yeah, sort him out.
End it.
He's called. What's they've got that spy? What's the? What's his name? The National Party spy, the
Yang.
Chinese CCP.
Yeah, something.
Anyway, that guy's going to kill David Seymour. There's going to be a one-outs in Parliament. Come here, boy.
One-outs in Parliament.
Well, going to be the best thing. Who had a scrap there? Tohinde and...
Trevor Mallard.
Oh, Trevor Mallard?
Yeah, no.
I wish Honi Harawira is toughest cunt.
He would punch someone out in Parliament.
I hope he does.
But he's not there.
He's gone, yeah.
Well, no, that's why Parliament's... the length, that too. But the length between the leader of the opposition and the prime minister is 2 swords.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Fucking long.
It's an old British custom. It's actually not like it looks big on TV, but when
it looks massive on
when
TV.
you're in the house, it's like
it's a zoo. I can't watch Parliament TV. I feel so embarrassed. Like grown men, just sweaty, red faced, just screaming at each other. Hey, how dare you! And then the Greens are all proud of themselves. Like, no, we don't get involved in that stuff. We respectfully listen to everyone.
It's really every time I see Chloe, because she's been on the show and I've seen her around a few times. She gives me the hang loose. Yeah,
Seagull Chloe.
And we were at the Ia Matau protest, and she was on Parliament steps, and she looked at me and she was like, and I was, Chloe, that's Sig Hale.
Yeah,
Don't
boy.
do that.
Oh, come on. It's time for, if I'm ever going to vote for anyone ever again, it'll only be if there's a mongrel mob party.
Coalition New Zealand.
Coalition. Two tangata.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Mighty mongrel coalition church.
It's pretty hard to make gangs uncool, but Brian Tamaki manages it, eh? Like, you see him with a patch on his back, you're like, maybe I don't want a patch anymore.
I was so pissed off because Mongrel Mob had a big meeting at the top of Tomato Peak, which is this big...
Oh, yeah, I remember they were mad as fuck about it. They closed the road.
And Havelock North. And, I've been up to Tomato Peak many times, smoking cones and drinking and whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, just let them have their meeting, bro. Like, the only people who complained were just old white people.
Well, they did let them have their meeting. They closed the road for them.
Yeah, but old white people were like, oh, we cannot let these little brown mongrels have their little meeting on the top of the hill.
How dare they?
How dare they wear their patches? That's Judith Collins' electorate right there.
God. That's another potential future that we could see. Oh, Judith. leading the National Party to
I mean,
ruin.
I'll join the revolution if she's the Prime Minister, man. Fuck. I don't care.
I can't imagine her getting elected, eh? We don't tend to elect horrible people like that, you know? Like, even John Key, who was an absolutely awful man, just a fucking garbage fire.
Yeah, vile garbage,
disgusting. but he didn't come across like that, you know. He was never like barking orders and shit. Like
that's what interests me the most when people say Judith Collins could defeat Jacinda Ardern. Is all I say is, okay, I want you to admit. Actually, no. The best example is the episode of The Simpsons when the whole family is in the raft and they're going down the river and there's two passages they can go through, and one's got rainbows and butterflies and bunnies, and the other one's just like decrepit and it's dark and it's got dead trees. It's like if you saw Judith Collins and Jacinda Ardern on the same fucking debate stage, it's so obvious who you'd vote for.
Which one would you go down?
Yeah.
I took the metaphor too far.
Oh.
No, yeah, but honestly, Jacinda Ardern, trying to debate Jacinda Ardern, I can't wait for Bill English didn't do a very good job of it.
It was awful.
She's like punching smoke, because it's like finding someone's like nice friendly mum and being like, you're a bitch. You can't fuck with Jacinda Ardern.
It's impossible.
She's sort of almost the anti-Key, like the opposite side of the coin, because all he did was just be a dick all the time and then just dismiss everything. Oh no, I'm not too concerned.
When men are dicks, it's like admirable, you know. People are like, oh John, what a nice guy.
Thank God. Imagine if it wasn't, I'd be fucked.
I'd be fucked as well.
I wouldn't have any fans at all.
We're gonna switch to Blame It On Me by Akon.
Shout out to all my fans, both of you listening. Love you guys.
We only play the best music at Salient FM.
Blame It On Me. Do you know what this song's about?
Yeah.
Good.
As life goes on.
I hope you enjoyed that song by Akon. Sorry, Blame It On Me. Very appropriate. That was a request by a Massey student. So
we've discovered that Akon is the worst person in the world, basically.
Yeah, I mean, so Akon's done some pretty good stuff. But I found out that he denies that blood diamonds exist. So it's not fantastic. But
the stat rate was also pretty bad.
But he has provided electricity in 15 countries in Africa. So
does that make up for it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's Akon claims he has 6 children with 3 different women.
He apologised to all of them through song, though. He's not there for his son. But there is a song about that he admits he's not there for us. He hasn't changed his behaviour since, clearly.
He claims.
Can we get him on? Akon? Would he come in?
Yeah, should I message Akon on that?
Message Akon and say, do you want to be on my radio show? We want to set the record straight. Have you improved on any of the behaviours that you apologise for in your song?
So, no, apparently it's not statutory. Apparently, Akon dry humped a girl who was underage. And this was that was the apology song.
Well, how was he to know?
You wrote 5 minutes of a song and probably shouldn't have.
After the fact, come on.
Well, no, that just reminds me of like in intermediate when they tell you, like you shouldn't grind on people because you might get an STD or something.
I mean, what? Do they?
No.
I didn't go to intermediate, so...
Unless... What do you mean? You just skipped from primary school to high school?
Yeah, pretty much. No, I skipped first form? I did second form. Second form. I don't know what year that is. I don't know how they work now.
Oh, yeah. When did that system change?
Like when I was at school. So I didn't know what class I was in.
That must have been fucking confusing.
It was like around the same time the NCAA came in.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fuck up. What a fuck up.
I've read a little bit about that. Apparently NCAA just fucking... Oh, it still sucks, but...
It does suck.
It's especially sucked the first couple of years it was
in. No, they had no idea what they were doing. They didn't seem to have a grasp of like the whole like internal versus externally assessed stuff.
Yeah.
So they were like making you do all the shit, and then that was like internally assessed during the year. And then at the end of the year, you didn't even need to do any exams, but they still made you do the exams. So you've already got the credits that you needed. Or like you only had to do like one paper in your exam or something to top yourself up. So you just did whichever one you thought you could pass.
Perfect. I just hated doing exams.
Well, exams.
Like internally assessed shit, that was the best. And it doesn't matter. Like, I don't understand how anyone can defend it, because there are kids I know who didn't go to any parties. They spent 2 hours every night studying after school. We're in the same class. Like, they got nothing. from that.
You would have gone to a pretty small school, though, eh?
No, I went to it's the biggest school in Napier.
Ah, yes, the biggest school in Napier.
Yes. No, the biggest school in Napier. We have.
No, Napier's not that small, eh?
We have.
I've never been. What's it like there?
Lovely. We have
My favourite Reese Darby character is called Bill Napier.
Bill Napier.
Bill Napier. G'day,
We've
mate.
got 1,200 students. Thank you very much.
12. My high school had 100. It was an area school, so like primary to year 13, and it was like less than 300 kids in the whole school.
Jesus.
I was so
Christ.
famous. It was the best.
Yeah, we had
Everyone was like, "Oh, there's that fucking idiot."
1,200. We've got alumni that you could fucking shake a bat at,
Oh,
like
yeah,
Stuart
here we go.
Nash
Stuart Nash.
and Chris Tremaine
Nash. Oh, Nashy.
and Zach Guildford.
Zach Guildford.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
Didn't he like?
Club of Seal or some shit? Was that?
No, he did something fucked. Yeah, no, that's right. He's like disgraced.
He clubbed a seal, and then when asked about it, he wrote a 5-minute long apology song, but he didn't change his behaviour.
On the 11th of November 2011, Guildford was cited in Rarotonga, where he was accused of drunken naked assaults during an alcohol-fueled series of incidents. Jesus.
Who gets naked for a flight day? He goes, I'm going to go smash that cunt. Just hang on, I'll take my pants off.
Holy shit.
That's only one more thing that's going to get hit, man. Fucking keep it tucked away, Zach.
Oh, fuck. That's awful. That's so awful. Honestly. Who gets...
I mean, it's not that awful. There's worse things he could have done.
I mean, yeah, but I don't get naked when I'm bloody...
The last time I drunkenly assaulted someone, I was fully clothed. I'm far better than Zach Guildford.
Like, could have been a much better All Black than him.
He was a good All Black. It's a shame about the other stuff. Who do you reckon's going to win the World Cup this year? Do you do sports ball at all?
No idea, honestly.
That's right.
My
Why are you doing the ACT party?
that's why I do politics. I always say to people, I probably only do politics because I sucked at sport in primary school.
Politics is a weird thing to be into, eh? Because like you just sort of spend most of the time like being pissed off at people.
Oh, it's fantastic. It's like I spend so much time listening to Magic Talk just because it fucks me off.
Oh, News Talk ZB for me, brother.
No, I got banned from News Talk ZB.
From listening to News Talk ZB.
Like, I can listen to it, but
They
I can't.
blocked me from it listening to it.
I
My
can't-
radio doesn't pick it up
I can't call up News Talk ZB. The blacklisted my number because I called up and called Heather Duplessis Allen a fucking boomer.
Grow up, Duplessis Allen.
Well, no,
You
because
boomer.
it was
She might come on if we ask her.
Nah,
Call her a boomer. I'll be on a show with Heather Duplessis Allen.
I reckon
promise you
Sean Plunkett would come on before Heather.
Who?
Sean Plunkett.
Sean Plunkett. Oh,
Yeah.
I'd like to talk to Sean Plunkett
No, he's a
since
fucking
he's
dickhead.
so good at facts and logic and
Oh.
triggering liberals and whatever else people say about Ben Shapiro.
God.
He's the New Zealand Ben Shapiro, right?
Yeah, except he was in Top.
He was in Top.
Yeah,
Fucking Top. Oh, by the way, anyone who supports Top, you're fucked. What
Is
a
that
stupid
is
party.
Top the worst party?
No. National's the worst party. Let's not ever get it twisted. But Top's hilarious because they're like, oh, are you sick of Labour and National? Then why don't you try something else, which is basically an amalgamation of the two worst parts of Labour and National. We've put that together. That's Top. Vote for us. Here's a picture of Gareth Morgan's face.
Well, why do you think that so many Green voters voted for Top then?
I don't think that they did. Like, I saw that theory.
Yeah, I'm only trusting the most reliable source of journalism
Jeff
in New
Simmons.
Zealand, VJM Publishing.
Ah, yes, VGM. Yeah, well, you have to remember that everything that that Vince or Dan McGlashan publishes is basically just like dog whistling to racists,
Oh,
just
no,
white
to-
supremacists
totally,
and
like-
shit. God, I wish we had Tanith here. Tanith would be good at fucking
I
tearing
know
down Vince.
he's in the High Court apparently.
Yeah, well, that's where he belongs. Lock him up. Fucking Māori.
I know. I can't
nationalist.
believe he's behind the. He's studying law instead of being dealt to by the law.
He reckons he's had like armed defenders at his house and shit.
Yeah, that's what he tells me. I mean, I'm not gonna pass judgment whether I believe him or not. But
I hear that he's been expelled from New Zealand first. I
Expelled?
haven't actually heard that.
no, I think he wasn't expelled from Young New Zealand first, but they kind of their side of the story was that he was wearing his Nazi jackets too much.
His Nazi jackets. What is a Nazi jacket? It's got like a big picture of
I
Hitler's
guess.
face on the back or something. It's like a patch, but
Well,
just
I mean,
with
like,
Hitler.
to be fair to young New Zealand First, every time Tanith would show up to Clubs Week, he'd announce himself by like throwing up a salute in the middle of
he does
uni.
like a salute, old Tanith.
But you know,
I feel like that's sort of like you're allowed to do that if you're a brown guy, right? Because like no one's going to really think you're a Nazi. Sure, anyone looking at Tanith doing a Nazi salute is going to be like, he's taking the piss. There's no way that guy's a real Nazi.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. Yeah, but you know, people at this university, they like to believe silly things. I'm just having a little read of VJM Publishing with great articles like New Zealand can no longer look to Britain for moral or cultural guidance.
Yeah, no, but there's only a very limited amount of subject matter. There's like crazy spiritual shit that I don't really understand on VGM.
Yeah.
There's legalized cannabis stuff, begging the government to let them smoke weed. Like, God, please help me. I just need you to allow me to smoke this weed. And there's like an extremely, extremely racist, like anti-refugees, but like specific anti-refugee stuff. Like we should take all the South Africans and
take the
anyone
white
from
people.
Any white people, but basically like any Africans or Muslims. He's terrified of them. He's a fucking horrible person, honestly.
The alt-centrist response to increasing poverty.
He's a radical alt-centrist.
God. What the fuck is wrong with you, dude?
Yeah,
what is
crazy.
brown? This is the article. I was like, you can't defend this. What is brown communism?
What's he got? AOC and Golras and that other woman from the States. I forget her name.
Yeah, I forgot her name. But you can't, dude. Like, come on. How can you write this whole article and be like, I'm not racist. I'm an old centrist.
He almost certainly isn't listening to this. But if he ever does listen to this, I just want to say, Vince, you can go fuck yourself. You're an idiot.
I've had some dumb fucking arguments with him.
He'll argue with you about anything.
I know he will. I get so annoyed by his shitty dumb posts where he's like, some like Canada or something will pass weed, you know, legally, and he'll be like, New Zealand is more of a third world country than Canada. It's like, dude, it's one area of policy. Fuck off.
Yeah, it's like absolutely. If they want to legalize weed, good. Like, there's way worse things the government can do. But I also don't give a fuck if they don't. I'll keep smoking weed. I don't give a shit. It's the same as the gun. That whole crying about the guns. Like, if you want to keep your guns, just keep them and just accept that it's illegal. That's just what you have to do. If there's a state, shit's going to be illegal.
The same arguments for why it should be legal, specifically like that kids can access it really easily. I like the same question, the same answer to like whatever. I mean, like I've been, you know, I don't smoke weed anymore, but I was 15 in my school uniform buying.
Yeah, has anyone ever struggled to access weed?
No, it's so easy.
Fucking, there's a tinny house in Ara. Well, there's not anymore. There was an open tinny house in Ara Valley for fucking years. The cops must have known about it.
There is there's also, I don't know, like, this is how I know the cops are useless, because there is a certain dairy in the vicinity of this university that sells unwashed poppy seeds if you ask for them.
Ooh, hello. We're going to go for a walk after this. Is it that one down in the corner?
No.
God damn it.
No. It's a bit up the road, but
if you know of any dairies that sell fucking NOS canisters, that's the one. That's the
what, like Nangs? Is that what you mean?
Nangs?
NOS.
Maybe that's the same thing. Yeah, NOS, like, you know, the little canisters you put in the crack and you fill up the balloon and you have a lovely time.
Yeah.
In Auckland, you can just go to dairies and buy them.
Well, yeah, because you just buy them because you're like, oh, I'm like for cake icing or
got
something.
Got any Cretan canisters, governor?
Yeah. And they're like, yes.
Can't find any here. Piss me off.
Oh.
People just look at you. You just walk into a random dairy. And,
are you a fan of the Nangs?
I'm a fan of everything. Except meth. Don't really like meth. Anything else.
Have you done meth?
Good to go. Have I done? Yeah. Fucking done meth. I've done meth. Everyone's done meth.
I can't say I've done meth.
Oh, do you want some? Don't do it. It's not that good.
If you
makes you feel like Superman and then fuck all.
If there's any meth addicts in Victoria University, if you want to come to the salient office, we'll have some meth for you. Don't worry.
Piss off, cunt. Stay away. No, but if anyone's got any beers, if anyone's listening to us that's like around the Hunter Lounge, you could bring us up a couple more beers. We'll wait in silence until someone does it.
Yeah, completely. We're not going to speak again until.
You going to do another song?
I'm trying to think of.
Got any John LeJoie?
No. I'm trying to think of a specific New Zealand song. Early 2000s. I think is it P Money? and it's like everything I want, everything I need. It goes like that.
Take it to the top.
Yeah. I'm so sure it's P Money.
We can ride.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
got it.
no, I got
it's
it.
everything, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that would make sense.
We're just gonna play this.
When we come back, I'm going to talk about the non-bomb threat.
I so hope this is the one. And now it's time to hear about the elusive bomb threat story from
Elusive bomb threat story.
from 2018 North Dakota by-election candidate.
It's been specifically requested too. We're not just going to talk about it, but it is hilarious. It was a dark and stormy night. No, it was like the middle of the day. It was so. This is. Let's just set the scene. Stephen Mollyman and Lauren Southern
and
Stephen
Mollyman Molyneux, right?
Molyneux.
Yeah.
It was around that whole.
Those who don't know, they're a couple of YouTube racists, basically.
A couple of Canadian Nazis.
Yeah, they were coming. They were coming in New Zealand to do some fucking talks or something.
They had a show booked. They tried to book a show at like the town hall or some shit in Auckland, and the council told them to fuck off.
Yeah.
So then they booked one at the power station, and the power station, for those who don't know, is a shit venue in Auckland. It's fucking horrible in there.
It's the Valhalla of Auckland.
It's
basically.
a sweaty pit, and I can only imagine what it would have smelled like, full of fucking alt-right New Zealand Nazis. Shout out Will Ryan. Shout out Jonathan Newcomb. Fuck you guys.
Newcomb, yeah.
Newcomb.
Yeah, Newcomb.
New scum. So anyway, they had this thing set up. The power station finds out who they are and cans them. Fuck off. We don't want to be associated with this. They're bombed. Like by the time that the news breaks on the radio that it's been cancelled, their voicemails are all full. Their personal voicemails are full. Their fucking business voicemail is full. Their emails are fucking. They've got hundreds of emails from people going, "What are you doing? Don't let these fuckwits do anything. It's going to tarnish your name forever." So they cancel them, right? That story was on the radio about 3:00 in the afternoon, I think it was.
Yeah.
Like that, it came through that it had been cancelled, and within a couple of hours, they'd like got the owner of the power station on, and the owner of the power station was like, "No, we just don't want to be associated with them." So I hear that news break, 3:00. I'm cutting some lawns. I hear the news break. I've got some mad ass earmuffs. Play the radio and fancy. I'm living fancy.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Listed at the News Talk ZB. I think Heather Duplessis Allen or some fucking boomer was on. And I think, this is the best thing that's ever fucking happened. Like, people are going to be so mad about this. It's going to be unbelievably funny. So I went on Sands, shitposting arena New Zealand. Everyone who isn't already on there, I imagine only people from Sands pretty much are listening at this point.
Yeah.
But if you're not on shitposting arena New Zealand, just look up Sands on Facebook and fucking join it. It's hilarious. Just understand that if you take anything in there seriously, you're a complete fuckwit. The banner just says "fuck you, Tanith."
But yeah, so you post it in Sands.
I head to Sands. I make this post. I can't remember exactly what I said. There's a million screens, but like basically saying that I had made a bomb threat to the power station and they'd cancelled the gig. And haha, shame, you fucking Nazis. We win, you lose. Like all in capitals, fucking spelling mistakes, zeros instead of O's, and just all this ridiculous shit. And as far as we know, some Australians, there's a bunch of Australians in Sands. It's unfortunate. But some Australian shit posters got hold of that, because the screenshots that we had, the timestamp on them was like earlier than I actually had made the post, so it must have been from another country.
Oh yeah.
Screenshot, and it's only really Australians that I can think of. So anyway, someone screenshots it. It gets sent out. It gets sent to like Right Minds and a couple of other like sort of right wing alt-right Facebook groups and shit. Start sharing it. It gets to their promoter, and the promoter tweets it, shares it on Twitter. That what's that Aussie? I don't know how to say the word. Imam, like the Muslim leaders.
Oh yeah.
And there's that real like controversial one that's like a Muslim leader, but he's basically just fucking constantly like hating on Muslims.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I can't remember the name,
he tweeted it and like called for me to be arrested and shit. So it blew up, and this is a Friday, and so the whole weekend I'm getting spammed, like death threats. People are coming to kill me. Someone leaked my address. Someone leaked my address, and no one ever fucking showed up to do shit about it. That's the state of the dangerous alt-right in New Zealand.
Were
That's
you
how
ready?
fucking.
Like-
I sleep with a hammer next to my bed anyway. I'm fucking ready. I don't lock my door. If someone comes in there, it's me, bro.
But were you, like, at any point after that address was leaked, were you like, you know?
I didn't actually know at the time that my address was after, like, it all died down, and then I found out that my address had been floating around.
It's pretty mad they found your address, because I'm guessing your name isn't in the phone book or anything.
Nah, but I'm on the electoral roll. I mean, it can't be impossible to find.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, the other option is that people are just claiming that they leaked my address. I never actually saw, like, a screenshot of my address out there. But a lot of people were like, we know where you live, like, you know, your address has been leaked here and here, afterwards. But yeah, at the time, there were just people like, you fucking leftist chill, you piece of shit, I'm going to come to your house and fucking kill you.
So
mad as, angry as fuck. Will Ryan called the police. The cops, the guy was like, so many calls. You've been reported so many times. But that was the dope thing about it, right? Was, okay, so Monday, it's a little bit misty, like I could have gone to work, but I didn't. I was rained off on Monday.
yeah.
And I was chilling out. I think I was fucking still in bed. It was like 10 o'clock in the morning or something, just, you know, having a relaxed little Monday morning. And there's a knock on the door, and I'm like, I bet this is the cops. Sure enough, it's a detective, old white man detective. He's got a like lady cop with him, and she was mad. He thought it was fucking funny as fuck. She was like hand on taser, like she was clearly ready, like kind of keen to take this cunt down. He seems like a bit of a smartass. But yeah, he was like, we wouldn't have even come around, but the power station hasn't been able to get through all the communication that they received, so they can't rule out that there was actually a bomb threat made. They haven't received one, but they can't say definitely no one's made a bomb threat to us. So he was basically like, do you know how to make a bomb? And I was like, no. I've got some petrol down in the van, that's about it. And he was like, yeah, no, you don't seem particularly dangerous to me. And I was like, that's where you're wrong, cunt. No, I didn't say.
How do you explain to a cop, like, this is the concept of a ship
They
pass?
had the printout, like, on paper of the screenshot from SANS. And I said, do you want to know what SANS stands for? And he goes, yeah, ship posting arena New Zealand. And he's kind of like, oh, what's ship posting? We just fucking talk nonsense, man. Like, everything in there, like, go back to the group and look at the description. It literally says everything in here is fucking bullshit. And he was like, having a bit of a chuckle about it, and it just the woman that was with him just disapproved. She was just sour as standing in the corner. So he sort of got that, and he accepted that I didn't have any bombs lying around, as far as they know. But we didn't manage to bomb threat when Peterson came to the country. So, but next ACT AGM, mate, watch out.
ACT AGM 2020. Well, I remember that was actually a running joke because the tickets sold out so fast.
What, to the ACT AGM?
The ACT AGM, that an unnamed member of the party, which will remain unnamed, said in all seriousness, like, David, you better watch out. Like, they might be like Antifa infiltrators. And David was like, I don't think so. No, I don't think they're infiltrating the ACT Party AGM.
But the reason that I'm fairly sure that there's no New Zealand Antifa, no real group, is because I constantly am accused of being the leader of it. Constantly. People are always saying to me, like, what's the SANS ripoff, the PANS ripoff, the
Free Speech Arena in New Zealand?
No, that's Will Ryan's safe space. It's called like NZ Politics Group or New Zealand Politics Group or something. Yeah. And it's like much more boomer orientated. It's very funny to troll, but there's a bunch of people on there who like recognize my name and start talking about not a bomb threat. And then say, this man is the leader of the violent left in New Zealand, the Antifa king and shit. So if there is an organised Antifa group, I would like to speak to them because I feel like they're fucking cashing in on a bit of my rep. And
who do you think is the best, benefit of the doubt? I won't say racist, but they are. But who is the best right wing poster in New Zealand? That
Adam Holland.
Adam Holland? Yeah. Adam Holland.
He's not super right wing though. He's actually quite apolitical. Like the more you talk to him, he literally just says whatever he thinks will shock people.
Oh yeah.
And he plays on easy mode. That's what I keep telling these people. Is like anyone control the left, right? You just have to say specific words. Your subject matter doesn't matter at all. You can always upset a group full of leftists. But the right, they're real fun to troll, right? Because they go around, oh, everyone's a snowflake. Everyone that's got any feelings about anything is incredibly awful, and you go in and like suggest that maybe like letting women make their own choices about their own bodies is like a good idea, and they'll lose their shit. Like trolling the right is the best thing you can do on the internet.
Well, okay, so what do you think about, we're talking about very specific people that like 12 people are going to know about. So we've got...
I mean, who's the best like right-wing politician?
No. So out of these three, right, so we've got Newcomb.
Yeah.
You know, always classic because he takes himself so seriously.
Yeah.
That's what I appreciate about him.
He's hilarious, but he doesn't know he's hilarious.
He's unintentionally just so funny.
He gets no credit for any entertainment value that he produces because he's got no idea that he's doing it.
And then, so he's one, like, just some of these posts, they're just wonderful. Sharing new conservative shit unironically, thank you very much.
Imagine supporting the New Conservatives. Is there young New Conservatives in Vic yet?
There have been young Conservatives, but not since the party became Newcon. There hasn't been a youth wing. But there are Newcon supporters here, they just don't really show themselves.
You're all idiots. I've got a serious beef with the New Conservatives. I tried to make friends with them. I tried to give them some help. I said, change your website name to Colin Craigslist. And your traffic will go through the roof, and they fucking deleted the comment, and now I can't
Colin Craigslist. So, Jonathan Newcomb,
yeah, shit.
Damien Camp, number 2.
Very funny. Damien Camp, I think, somewhat knows, but he's also completely insane.
Oh yeah, he's
as cooked as they come. But fuck, he's funny.
Wouldn't be alone in a room with him.
Nah, you wouldn't want to.
No, he's kind of terrifying
and like horrifically misogynistic. Like just completely entitled to the attention and love of any woman who he sets his eyes on, and like real toxic when people don't like him.
Oh, he's a fucking character. I don't even know where to start with him, honestly. And then, this is in Wellington. Does he live in Wellington?
No.
Oh, it's terrifying.
That must have just been when he came here. No, he's a farmer somewhere.
The one and only Will Ryan.
Will Ryan.
Just, I wish David Hannon was here to tell us his Will Ryan story.
Oh, he met him or some shit, didn't he?
Will Ryan drove him around Waiheke Island. Like, I want that so badly.
I'd watch out. Will Ryan might have been grooming David, I'm afraid.
I just think that David could be the next... How does Will Ryan identify? What does he call himself?
Oh, just whatever he feels that day, I think. So, he's like a proud right wing. His position is that like racism and bigotry isn't inherently bad. That like being discriminatory is natural, and like people like something being racist isn't an argument. Like this policy is racist. Yes, I agree, it is racist. But what does that actually mean? That's him.
Well, I don't think he even just says it's not bad. He says it's good.
Yeah,
it's a genuine argument to have. But what do you reckon, Damien, Newcomb, or Will? If you had to keep one of them,
it's got to go to Will Ryan.
No, actually, no. We've got 3 of them. Fuck, marry, kill.
Ooh.
Will Ryan, Newcomb, Damien Camp.
Ooh.
I'm gonna have to say, right. So I'm gonna say, fuck Will Ryan. He's the most twink of all of them.
The twink. He's gonna be so mad when he hears
marry Damien because he's gonna look after you. He's a bit crazy, but he's gonna provide for his woman.
Until he kills you.
Yeah, well,
be well looked after for
and then,
a week.
you have to kill Newcomb, right? Because like he's the least self-aware of all 3.
Yeah.
So he gets the most annoying the most quickly because he like the takes he has aren't that ridiculous.
Yeah.
But Damien will, like, they at least provide comedy when they're like, women aren't people.
Oh, some of his takes are fucking ridiculous. Newcomb is crazy. Newcomb thinks that being a liberal is the far right. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a liberal.
He thinks Donald Trump is a great example of a liberal.
Donald Trump is a fucking mighty liberal. So I would. Oh, I know how. So I would marry Will Ryan because he is like the biggest pussy I've ever fucking met in my life. Like you'd have him whipped and under control and like just one hiding. That'd be it. He's never probably been in a fight in his life. There was footage of it. I don't know what happened to it. It's probably still around somewhere of him at a protest, like just cowering with the megaphone behind like Daniel Gross and like when do you remember Samuel Chin?
Yep.
It was like the first like intense incel that we ever came across. But they were like his bodyguards, and they're both like a foot shorter than him, and he just got charged by this like big girl that was just like beside herself with rage at whatever he was saying on the megaphone. And he just shit himself. Like Paul Ryan, he like challenges people to fights on the internet and then calls the cops on them for Nate. Shout out Nate, by the way, one of New Zealand's finest shit posters. Nate and Campbell found his address on Waiheke Island and he just lost his shit because he's like got registered companies and shit. Man, never register a company if you don't want your address out there.
No, that's true. I keep forgetting that.
It's dangerous.
That's Johnny out there. Just popped in.
G'day,
Johnny.
Yeah. So Will Ryan. Yeah. No. Of those three, he would be the best person to marry. He'd be the best husband.
What? Just because you could whip him?
Just because, like, they'd all be horrible as fuck, but you could easily like wear him down to a point where it'd be tolerable, and you have to marry one of them. You'd fuck Jonathan Newcomb, right? Because like that's hilarious. Like, every time he's posting his fucking earnest sort of takes,
very long, and like half his comment is just a quote of your comment, even though there's only 2 people in the comment thread, so there's no reason.
The reply function, you fucking boomer.
It's just awful.
It's horrible talking to him, and you never like his position that like rape culture is that rape culture doesn't exist. Yeah. Right, and I reckon honestly it'd be like in the 20s of like women specifically telling him, like explaining to him how it is for them, and he just dismisses it. Well, but that's not my experience. It's like you're a fucking man.
I have never been sexually assaulted.
Yeah, so if I get to fuck one of those 3 people, I'm gonna fuck the guy that claims rape culture doesn't exist, and I want to do it rough.
Jesus,
and I'll kill Damien Camp because I just think that he's potentially the most harmful of the 3.
I think out of all 3, Damien's the most likely to commit like a
awful. He did some pretty gnarly
shooting.
Shit, man.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to go into it too much, but he was pretty fucking intense and stalky to a few people.
It's stalky.
So, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So, sleeping in.
That's the other thing. You don't want to talk too much shit about these people because like there's a genuine fear for your life.
Oh no! What are they gonna fucking do?
Yeah.
I told you.
Well, who's
They've
gonna...
already got my address. They're already mad about getting their Nazi rally cancelled.
Jesus.
So yeah, what needs to happen is 2020 is going to be the big year. Hopefully, where Dr. Richard Good, Doctor of Philosophy, God bless his soul, he's just about got the online sign up working. And the only other political party that has an online sign up is, I think it was like United Future or something. So
you mean an online sign up?
So if you create like a field that they can use like a mouse or a touch screen to make a signature, you don't have to get a physical like form, because you have to have things have to be signed, right? He was trying to explain this to me last night. I might have misunderstood.
Don't think so, but I also don't want to get the party that I belong to in trouble if they're doing something wrong.
That'd be funny how you find out that all the parties are like completely illegal.
Because
I actually think that I fucking signed up for the Greens. Oh no, I think they just sent me something that I had to sign and I just sent it back to them.
I haven't signed anything, so
well,
we're just going to pretend that
the Libertarian Party of New Zealand surely wouldn't make you sign a contract.
No.
I haven't signed, but
if that's true, that's quite interesting because
the other interesting thing about financial memberships is I haven't been able to determine that there's any minimum contribution.
Oh, to a party.
To a party.
Oh, to
As
become a
long as
member.
you
No. Yeah, no.
financially
So it's
contribute,
like if everyone, because we thought about it very heavily, making like a shit posting party in 2017. It's like, yeah, the membership could be $1.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
1 cent.
Yeah, at just any financial contribution, you have to have 500 members that do that.
Yeah. And because, like, in theory, you could make like a donation, right? So if you were on the street, it's a coin, whatever coin you've got in your pocket, the membership's 1 cent. So if you give us a 10-cent coin, you're sponsoring another 9 people who don't have a coin to join.
No, I
think
think members have to individually finance it themselves. You can't sponsor them.
No, so
But,
you
like,
have to have a paper trail of them actually giving you some money.
Yeah. But if it was 10 cents, that's fine. I don't think that's against the rules.
I don't think there's a minimum.
Yeah.
It would be good to get a bit more money just to like share those, because otherwise the candidates end up having to pay $300.
Yeah.
Every time if they want to stand, and like not everyone can afford that.
What is Johnny showing me a? Oh, this is the weasel with his baby teeth that his family made him.
Jeez, what they kept the baby teeth and stitched them into a weasel.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
Kind of gross, I have to say.
Sort of disgusting. You'd be stoked, like if he ever has a kid that loses its teeth.
Oh, and put it.
You
It'd be
could
like a shark,
replace-
and they can start putting them side by side.
I've got some baby teeth. There's 2 there.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, bro, never popped out.
Why not?
Parents or cousins.
Never thought about just.
Yeah, I could pull them out. They're just sort of sitting in there. Like if you wiggle them, they just get looser and looser. I could pull them out in half an hour, probably.
I think because how many? 1, 2, 3. I think I have to play one more song before
Fair
the
enough.
end.
You're
so,
the boss, man.
So it's got to be Dane Rumble, right?
Oh, Dane Rumble.
We
yes.
followed this paper trail of 2000s music. It's got to end with Cruel, but apparently non-rap version. I don't want the non-rap version.
Piss off.
I want the whole song.
Don't come at me with any non-rap songs. We've already had to
I want to
deal with
listen to Dane Rumble rap. That's the whole
Natasha
reason.
Bedingfield. What happened to Dane Rumble anyway?
Oh, there's actually an excellent article about
Wasn't he
it.
from the... Yeah, I think I
He's moved to Melbourne and he's wiped all the music he's ever done off his like portfolio.
so...
He's like some business
what every
developer now.
Kiwi does.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah, here we are. Last 20 minutes or so of the show. It's always a nice Friday afternoon treat to come in here and talk shit. Skip a fucking lecture.
We were going to go for a beer after this, but Robbie Coots bailed on us.
I'll still go to the Hunter Lounge for a beer.
Yeah, we can. I've never been to the... What's it called? Hunter Lounge?
Hunter Lounge.
Hunter Lounge.
I mean, it's not that great.
I've hardly been to the university at all, to be honest. Like, fuck, I was shocked when I was sitting at the front waiting for you. Fuck, why is everyone so young at university? I was looking at all these young people. I'm the oldest man here.
Nah, I mean, you get the mature students in your tutorial sometimes, and it fucks you right off.
Even like my girlfriend's, how old is she? 26 or 27, and even she's like old, like feels old, and she's doing postgrad.
I think a lot of people just feel a bit weird, coming back to uni and like when they're a bit older.
It's like, it seems like a great lifestyle. Like I wish that I'd gone to uni when I was a kid. Like that would have been the shit.
It's pretty fucking fantastic. I won't lie. Because you do fuck all. And
Good.
The state pays you to do fuck all.
That's my favourite thing to do.
Yeah.
Nothing. Just do as everyone. Take my advice on this.
And
always do as little as possible.
You just yell at people, especially when you're doing political science. You just yell at people in your fucking tutorials about how they're idiots.
Just a big debate.
God, I had this one tutor who was trying to tell me that Hillary Clinton was left wing, and I was like, "We're not moving on until I tell you that she's right wing." Okay, like we're having this argument right now.
The States is weird, eh? It's like that like two-party system really has not worked for them.
There's no left wing in the United States.
There really isn't.
That's why I got so pissed off. I was like, no.
Even like Bernie and shit, like
barely. They're like centrist as
like
fuck.
technically, I suppose, but
Yeah.
there's nothing radical about Bernie. I don't know. I find like leftist ideology. It's sort of hard for me to think of any of it as radical because like. Basically, all they're doing is making like super unrealistic promises to look after people, which is what I would like. If there has to be a state, can it look after people, please? But like,
so then, why are you an anarchist and not a leftist then?
because I just think that the state fucks up immensely.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
if it was good, if the state was effective, if the state could achieve something, I'd be on board with it. But it doesn't do shit, or it at least doesn't do anything good.
No.
You know, like, and when it does get something right, it takes 50 times longer than anyone could reasonably have expected it to, and it gets watered down and torn apart. It's just a waste of time.
And yeah, it's just never the way you wanted it, isn't it?
No, and that's and nothing's ever the way that anyone wants it. You know, like,
Yeah.
unless you it's just you and you're doing something by yourself. You know, if you're masturbating or something, like, you probably are going to do that the way that you want it. Right, that's just you. But when you start getting into a group, the bigger the group gets, the more people are going to be dissatisfied. You can't please that amount of people. And that's why, like, decentralizing shit, like anarchy, that makes sense to me. Other than, like, you know, the marauding fucking warlords and all of that kind of shit.
It's
that
all
people
part
say
of
is
the
gonna
fun.
happen.
All part of the fun.
But, like,
What you know?
even if you believe that there's a number of people that would go out and suddenly just start fucking murdering people and raiding and raping and pillaging, and, like, one, they already could
yeah. There's not
if they were that keen
that's
on
what
it.
people tell me. They try and chill for the police, and they're like, they keep you safe. So if I walk down the street right now, and someone wants to stab me, they will.
Yeah.
What's the cop gonna do? Hold me while I'm
Get,
bleeding?
get there and 3 hours later with a notepad and
So
write
the
a
same
story
thing
about it.
when they're like, oh, what happens when your house gets robbed? It's like, yeah, it does, and then they take a fucking week to turn up, and then they're like, oh, we can't do anything.
And then they go, oh, well, we'll just fill out this thing for you so you can claim insurance.
Yeah.
And other than that, you can fuck off. They have to attend every burglary and burglary now.
Yeah.
They didn't used to.
Well, yeah, that's why they
Not
fuck
even show
around
up.
and just don't do anything, and they just...
Yeah, no, they're far too busy making sure that people are wearing their seatbelts and not smoking any cannabis. It's just got so many things to do.
And making sure I had this one constable who lived in quite a small neighbourhood in Napier, at the kind of edge called Bayview, and there was this one Constable John. Shout
Constable
out,
John.
You're a fuckwit.
Shout out,
It's like
Constable
I never
John.
saw him do anything except for yell at me for not wearing a helmet.
You bastard.
And he would lean out his car as he was going out of his driveway, and there's like little police ute be like, "Oi, put on your fucking helmet, cunt!" I'm like, 8, 9. He's calling me a cunt.
He sounds like fucking Alf Stewart. Like, babe, I'll fucking bite your head off, you little bastard.
What right do you have to tell me to wear a helmet? I'm going to the shop to buy lollies, dude. Fuck off.
Yeah, what a ridiculous law, eh? Like, that seatbelts and helmets, just a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's
Talk
just
about a victimless crime. Well, I mean, I guess in theory, you might become the victim of your own lack of ability
yeah,
to
but
wear
I'm not a
helmet.
victim then. I'm
No.
self-inflicting.
If you want to fucking take that risk, then that's up to you. I mean, people say, like, it's to spare the ambulance people, you know, like, they don't want to deal with your brains all over the road. But, like, what the fuck are the ambulance people there to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's to prevent them having to do their job. The poor ambulance people.
Boo ho, boo ho. If I want to fucking fall off a bike and split my head open, just let me do it.
Hard lives. I do know. I've known one cop that in my life that I've got, like, a lot of respect for. It was like the the sheriff of Coromandel. It's like my dear friend Braden. Shout out Braden. His old man was like the Coromandel. There's only 2 cops in Coromandel town. We
Yep.
get an extra one over summer because shit gets loose. But and he was great. He was like, there's the laundry list of kids that, if they had been living in a bigger place with a less involved cop, would have just all ended up in jail. Like, we all did enough shit to go to jail, and, you know,
Well, you would have liked-
5% of them would have fucking.
You would have I spent a bit of time on the Chatham Islands.
Ooh.
Because my grandfather used to head the Department of Conservation there, and they have one cop, and he's only on during the summer. So it literally is just anarchy in the
The
winter.
Chatham Islands is the place to be.
I know, me and my friends used to always joke in high school, we're like, we should just... Okay, before I say this, I just want to say to the police and the cybersecurity agencies listening, this
That
is a
you
joke.
can get fucked.
This is a joke, what I'm about to say. We always used to say about taking up arms and annexing the Chatham Islands as an independent state, because
Watch out,
honestly,
man. You're going to jail for that. Fuck.
one cop. Come on.
Yeah, well, he'd probably join in. Ah, good. Good. I've been waiting a long time for this. That you got to be careful about saying that shit, man.
Yeah, I know.
The people that got charged with the fucking bullshit Uri Weta terrorists
Oh.
back in the day. One of the, like, parts of that case was they had, like, recorded them having a conversation where they, like, were theorizing about ways that they could kill the Prime Minister, like, you know, as a thought exercise. Like, how do we get John Key? And or it might have been Clark at that time. I can't remember the exact. But anyway, like the substance of it was that they were going to drive a bus off a bridge and hit the helicopter that the Prime Minister was riding, and that went to court. That was like plotting to assassinate the Prime Minister.
That's fucking.
I mean, surely it got thrown out. Surely.
No, yeah, it has to.
Like,
well, did you see? There's a stuff article I was reading the other week. There was a landlord. First, fuck him. Second,
yep, fuck them all landlords,
so
scum.
There was a house that was on stilts, basically, elevated off the ground, and underneath the house was this giant. It was like a ton, that weighed that much. It was a giant rock.
Oh, wow.
Right? That just dislodged itself from the earth. And this landlord took the residents of the household that he was renting out to court because he said that they put the rock there, and because the rock had been causing property damage. And they said, well, no, because you've inspected, because it was like you could go downstairs to the basement and you could just see the rock.
Yeah.
Right? And they said, well, no, because the rock, you've inspected the property, including the basement, and the rock wasn't there. We were walking around with you last time you were there. And he said, well, look, here's the explanation, right? When I came for the inspection, you got a crane and removed the rock from the property and then put it back after I left.
Your pet rock.
And
I said no pets.
And then they were like, well, you've owned the property longer than we lived here. Like, you would have known about the rock before we came here. And it got thrown out, obviously. But he was trying to take them for like,
I think that
$90,000.
His punishment should have been that his property became the property of the rock. That rock now owns this land.
The rock should be given human status.
Dwayne Johnson, come over from the States. You're the rock. This is a rock.
Yeah, landlord accuses tenant of hiding 3-meter high rock.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, so he was charging him for all the rebuilding supplies. It was a Wanganui.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Wanganui.
And the tenancy tribunal called it preposterous.
I can't wait.
What the fuck? Oh, it's stuff.
Oh,
They autoplay.
I can't wait until like some landlord accuses their tenants of removing all the insulation from the uninsulated house. Like, they'll get busted for not having an insulated house now that law changes through. The tenants have removed all the insulation from you. This was and if anything, it was too insulated before.
Robertson's the name of the landlord.
Oh, right.
Robertson's
Not Grant,
own
then.
maintenance man stated the rock was embedded at least 2 meters underground, and the 2016 photograph show it was in the ground at that time. The claim was dismissed.
I want to go dig a hole under my house and see if I can find a big rock.
That's fucking insane.
Throw it into a Thank God we're not the States though, eh? Like that whole like.
Oh, if this was the States,
litigiousness.
if this was the States, that landlord would have won.
Can we? How much time have we got left?
Not
long.
Good old 7 minutes, eh?
All right. Should I? We'll just go through. I posted in a bunch of politics groups and unfortunately on my own personal page, to just asking what kind of silly shit do people want me to say.
We're doing requests.
I'm doing requests. So shout out Jacob Woodsy. Alumni, Vic Uni.
Yes.
He wanted me to say that the Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. I don't necessarily agree with that, to be honest, Jacob. And he also wants me to say end women's suffrage, which also, I mean, no. Like, if anyone can vote, I think it should be women. But ideally, let's just end all. There's been enough suffrage.
Well, I think if we have anyone voting, it should be only babies.
Only babies should vote. That's good
like
policy.
0 till 4.
0 to 4 only. Just
yeah.
Yes, the Rainbow Party has
just put
landslide victory.
Just put coloured blocks in front of them, and they can pick whatever block they want. And we're like, oh, everyone likes yellow. I guess we're neolibs now.
Imagine that. Yeah, well, it would certainly make people a bit more honest about their policies, wouldn't it? Like if the only way to win an election was to convince a bunch of babies to pick you out of a lineup.
It'd be horrible. It'd just be Simon Bridges coming on like an ad commercial break on Disney Junior.
Simon
Disney
Bridges
Junior, like,
just lactating.
Look, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, if you want good smart government, and if you want your parents to not be able to tell you when to stop eating biscuits, okay, you vote for the National Party.
I'm sick of this. All right. What have I've got some shit from my personal page too. Toilet paper is one of the biggest issues, apparently. So what I know about that is that's a reference to an old joke that I've got. Shout out Brendan Dudson. An old joke that we used to have with his grandfather-in-law, who refused to use toilet paper because it was unnatural. So he would take a 1.5 litre bottle of water with him to the toilet and just like put it on his hand and just like scrub his asshole with it. And that was it. Yeah, no. He told us that. He said that it's ridiculous to be. One is ridiculous that we shit in water. We're land animals. We should be shitting on the land. So toilets for him were fucked up, but he used them anyway. The other one was that getting paper. One, toilet paper didn't work. He said, I wiped my ass 7 times and there's still a little brown slice on it. And the other, this old Belgian dude, he was the man. King Arthur. Shout out King Arthur if you're fucking anywhere around. The Mahana Man. There's a documentary about him on Vice. You should watch it. I'll link it to you later.
So loose.
And the other one was that flushing toilet paper down in the water was just like ridiculously polluting when you could just clean your ass with a bottle of water. So that's what that's in reference to. I'm glad I've told that story. What else is on here? My lovely sister. Shout out Josie Kartini. She's been toe-tuckled by my girlfriend Katie and my other girlfriend Casey. I clicked on this link and the font on the website gave me a stroke.
Yeah, shout out Salient FM.
Salient FM, sort your shit out, mate. What else is here? Oh, we should send all our shit to Thames. I believe that we already do. All the recycling that isn't going overseas anymore is sitting in a paddock in Thames somewhere. Yeah. Which makes sense because it's already a fucking shithole. If you're from Thames, you're a loser. I just want you to know. Thames is the worst place. Thames is the worst place in the country. Picton second.
Yeah. No, that's right.
Play some John LaJoie classics. We're not allowed to play different music, I believe.
We're not, yeah.
Someone says I'm listening. Oh, and then there's the one about, we've got no real data on this, but my mate Siwa, shout out Siwa, has pointed out that apparently most of the street names in New Zealand, if they're not Māori or something to do with the monarchy, are named after wealthy colonials that ripped off the Māori. I know for a fact Thames has heaps of them. Once again, we've circled back to Thames being a pit. But if anyone has any information on that, get at me, because I feel like there'd be nothing funnier than getting a bunch of like old colonials' names taken off street signs and watching even David Soymon watching mad about that.
Oh,
no, how dare you?
Probably
These men are important parts of our...
No, because when there was that discussion around like whether to remove colonial statues, he's like, oh look, we should be putting them in museums if we want to keep them. But
yeah, we could have like a racism museum in New Zealand. We'll put all the old fucking racist English dudes in one spot.
Newcomb would be angry though.
Oh, you're furious. Yeah. Absolutely furious. That's a very Newcomb thing to be mad about, but like that's like his ilk. People are, the Māorification of New Zealand, putting the H in Wanganui, like just mad about everything, like victim posting.
Is there anything you'd like to sign off with before we
mate, I'm drawing a blank, but
any messages you want to send to the people of this nation? Do not vote. Don't fucking vote. Doesn't work. Don't do it. Vote for no one. Or if you absolutely must vote for not a party, because that's fundamentally not voting anyway. 2, stop victim posting. Everyone on the right wing, you're not victims. You just look pathetic, right? Stop. Cut it out. Be like Jackson Graham. Jackson Graham is the future of the Let's go back to just posting about policy instead of posting about how hard it is to be a white man these days. I'm removed from Twitter. Oh God, I can't even be incredibly insensitive towards women anymore. I get called a rapist. It's because you're a rapist. Stop. That's why. No more victim posting, please. Join Sands, shit posting arena New Zealand. Yep. Fucking great. Shout out Pans, political arena New Zealand, if you don't want to like get into so much heavy, stupid shit. And everyone just fucking take it easy, eh? Just have a good time. Have some beers today. No one do anything too stupid. And hopefully I'll be back on the radio at some point later on this year. We'll donate a webcam to the Salient so we can do a little live stream. I think next week we're having a mukbang with Ali. What's that? It's have you ever seen those Japanese women that live stream themselves eating a lot of food at once.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You're gonna do it.
So Ali wants to do a KFC mukbang next week.
Oh, fuck, that
So-
sounds awesome. I'm a big fan of the Colonel, man. Like,
So we're going to be doing some Colonel recruiting next week.
hell yeah.
So
I'll be around for ages, man. Fuck.
cheers for tuning in to Salient FM. You're really justifying all my student fees going to this stupid fucking radio station.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Oh, that's all right. I mean, it was you or Tanith, wasn't it?
You piss off, man.